If you work somewhere for long enough, you start to see it a lot differently. My supermarket job in Tesco, for example, gives me a very different perspective to what the customers see. While most people experience the shop as a brightly lit, accessible and busy area, I see the other side of it. After hours when the lights are turned down, or when I'm in the warehouse alone, it can feel incredibly liminal. Today, my goal is to create a piece of artwork that feels eerie and isolating, but also somewhere that looks like where I work. That's kind of the main thing. I think the first thing to do is understand what makes an image liminal, and then we can kind of go from there. To make it easier on myself, I actually wrote out a small checklist of things that if your image contains, it's probably a lot closer to a liminal image. The 6 are fluorescent lighting, empty space, oddly comforting, flash photography, long hallways, and uncanny valley. First thing I do is just grab some 3D models online. Easiest one, I guess, would be just a shelf with food. I like photo scans a lot. They're really easy. They have a lot of realism because it's an actual real object that you're taking, but they can be kind of heavy on your machines depending on the size, but this one doesn't seem too bad. If you start in a fully dark environment, you set the environment to black, that means we can light it in a way that feels kind of ugly and artificial. I think lights that are slightly off color work best for what we're trying to do. So maybe something tinted more towards like a green, something kind of ugly because green lights are kind of horrible. Next, I want to get an abandoned shopping trolley. So we go to Sketchfab again. The easiest way I find to make the image more interesting is to add some story. So I think that a second trolley that's knocked over kind of adds some narrative element, because then you kind of want to ask questions then of like, why is there a trolley who knocked it over? Why is there 2? You're kind of asking some questions. And even something similar like that already can feel just better than the first one by itself. Next, we're going to put a HVAC system together that definitely just doesn't work at all. To actually make this a Tesco, it needs some Tesco signage. And I couldn't find any image textures of signage online except this one. But this is actually usable. I can shift the UVs so that the perspective works. I don't actually like that it's a void beyond the aisles. I want to give a sense of how big the space actually is. So I'm going to make an emergency exit sign and put it way in the distance, and we're going to make it emissive as well. So yeah, after we add some filmic effects like grain, this is our final image. It's not bad. I like that we've really captured how ugly these shops can be if they're not lit the way that it's intended. This was another alternate experiment that I did. I just learned that you can add image textures to spotlights, and it will emit whatever image that you have as a light source and not just like a plane, which I thought was cool. Also, bonus tip, always photo scan your coworkers so you can then put them in your liminal horror art animations. Just trust me on that. I literally just videoed them T-posing and then brought that photo scan into Mixamo using the like auto rig in Mixamo. If you add some volumetrics in Blender, you can actually get some kind of interesting results. If you want to see the final images, all of them together, it's on my Instagram if you want to check me out there. That's it for this video. Bye.